Hello, community. How is everybody doing? Happy Thursday, happy beginning. We're almost at the weekend. Happy Thursday, everyone. Looking forward to another great session. First of all, sorry for the delay, but we're here now. I hope everybody had a great start of the week so far, and is excited about today's another community event. Welcome everyone that is able to make it to today's event. Really excited for another session today. And as you saw, the thumbnail gave it away. Today it's going to be all about community, how we build a global decentralized community, the importance of it, why we have to go and take that route. And that's what the session today will be all about. And as always, we'll always like to zoom out first, look at the bigger picture. What are we facing? What are the market conditions? Especially now that the ETFs are approved and the market is really hyped and excited. And then we'll take it from there. As always, let me come and recognize you all at first, see how you are all doing, who made it to today's session. And after acknowledging and appreciating you, we'll kickstart with today's session. So let me come to you and see who is here. Miss Sharon, greetings family. Bullrun Live, greetings Miss Sharon. I hope you are well. Queen Goliba, nice having you here as well. Hello family. Oh yes, here is the day we were waiting for. Today I'm working with a book and a pen. Don't want to miss a word. That's great. That's great. I'm glad you do that because this is what this session is all about. And I hope you can really use your pen nicely today. My great brother Demo, happy Thursday. Hope you are all well. Let's go. Nice having you here as always, my brother Demo. Brother Theo, my great brother Theo, greetings, my great brother Steve, and greetings to the Bullrun family here attending. I pray you are all well. I can't wait to get this live started. So excited. Let's go. Always a pleasure having you here as well, my great brother Theo. I hope you and yours are well. It's a pleasure having you all here. I'm just as excited and looking forward to this session today. Queen Sally is here as well. Greetings, Bullrun family. Happy Thursday. It's a pleasure having you here, Queen Sally. Queen Chantel is here as well. Happy Thursday, family. Happy Thursday back to you as well. I hope you are well. Queen Nancy, hello, Steve. Hello, community. I can't wait to be informed about the latest crypto news. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you here as well. Thank you for participating. We have Queen Patricia here as well. Happy Thursday. We are here again at the feet of our great teacher, Steve. It's a pleasure being with you all here as well. I'm really looking forward to this today. I'm really hyped, really excited about today. This won't be complete without our great brother Glenn. Let's go, he says. Let's start growing. Absolutely. Always a pleasure having you here, brother Glenn. And of course, Mom, Queen Aweno. Mom, nice to have you here as well. Good evening, community. Glad to connect with you this beautiful Thursday. Looking forward to another educational session. Thanks, Steve. It's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure having you here as well. Happy Thursday to everyone and to you, Brother Glenn. Queen Val here. Let's hit the like button, family. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday back to you too, everyone. Crypto Riser, my brother Crypto Riser. Hello, Bullrun family. Best community in the crypto space. Absolutely. That's what we aim to do. And it's the best because of all of you. You make it the best place to be. And Queen Lati, a pleasure having you here as well. Thank you for participating, for taking your time and being part of this session today. So excited to be waiting for our great teacher. It's such a pleasure having you all here. Queens and Kings, great community. Always thrilled, always excited. I'm feeding off of your energy. And with that said, I see everyone is ready. We are already falling behind. Let's get this going. Let me share my screen. All right. So, first of all, again, welcome to all of you. It's such a pleasure having these sessions with all of you. First of all, congratulations to the crypto space. A great event today, as we saw the ETFs being approved, the Bitcoin ETFs, all 11 of them. It's a big task. It's really a big event. And as we saw here today, just to keep record, in the first 30 minutes alone, the ETFs crossed 1.2 billion in trading. And right now, Grayscale and BlackRock's ETFs are the ones leading right now. But truth be told, Grayscale was expected. They have the largest funds. They have around 36 billion worth of BTC, Bitcoin already. And the other ones will definitely catch up as well. And with this said, let's go back to the market and see what's happening. As we see, the market is extremely volatile. It's been between 48 to 45. It fell back to 45 actually. And now it's back to 46, at least Bitcoin is. Ethereum has been really stable. Actually, it's been picking up. It's been the one asset that has been really going up today. And it's been doing extremely well. And partially, of course, I would say it's because of its mechanisms, like we know. And if we look at the volume here, it has 31 billion in volume, Ethereum does. And what sets it apart is this right here. This is incredible, you know. It is deflationary. So the more volume it goes through, the more it burns. Like we see here, it issues 860,000 Ethereum. However, it burns 1,000 right now, 1,000 Ethereum a year. So you see that it's extremely deflationary the more it's being used. Hence, you see the line heading down like this. So deflationary tokens will do extremely well. And this is the most deflationary blockchain in the space. And as you can see, it is really it's really the one that is really doing extremely well. Not just keeping the price, but it's actually heading upstairs, like heading up. It's really picking up in price. So with the market looked at, we're up 3%. And at some point, we hit over 1.8 trillion in total market cap before we drop back down again. And if we look at the 7-day, we can have a clearer picture of what happened. Of course, everything picked up as we expected. And once the news came out and everything started trading, we expected this to be a sell on the news. And also, of course, a lot of people are sitting on profits. And of course, all these ETFs that were approved today, like we see, they're taking profits as well, of course, because they've been sitting on their Bitcoins for a while as well. And the population, we, the retailers, have been really helping with adding some more liquidity to for them, so that they can really take the profits. And this is why we see the volatile market. So today's session, like we said, we really want to focus on our topic, like we say today, is a decentralized global community. It's very important to have our own decentralized global community. The decentralized part is easy because basically what this blockchain technology allows us to do is we are able to connect from all over the place, hence the global community. And blockchain enables us to achieve that. And that's very important to understand, because I want to paint a picture right now to show you how, yes, after all the joy and the excitement, let's be rational right now and think, okay, what's next? What does this mean now from now forward? And we shouldn't really underestimate what just happened, this event. All these 11 applicants, they have a mission. They're on a mission, and they're working together as a unit. Everybody plays their part. Usually it's first come, first serve, but it's really interesting how all 11 of them at the same time got approved and traded basically at the same time. Van Eck was said that they traded a bit later, but everybody else traded at the same time. So they have a game plan. They came in the industry with a game plan. Remember, this industry was dominated by us, and it's still dominated by us. With us, I mean the retailers. And the entire liquidity, actually even from the last 3 bull cycles, all came from us, the retailers. Retailers are king. Retailers are being heavily sought after. And to really put this in perspective, let's look at this. Where is it? Okay, right here. These ETFs, all 11 of them, they're really fighting for you. They're fighting for you so hard that they're lowering fees and actually waiving fees for up to 12 months. Some 6, some 12 months. So they're really fighting hard for you, for the retailers, because they understand that it's the retailers that really sets the tone. It's the retailers that really makes the difference for us, and that allows them to be successful. And I want to highlight 2 things with these ETFs that just launched. First of all, let's understand how ETFs work and how also these institutions, how are they getting access to the Bitcoin? Because what ETFs are actually, they're paper that you get, a note that you get for that says that you have a share, you own a share of the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin. You don't actually own the real deal. You just own the paper. But we'll get more into that. Right now, they're fighting for you because they're in need of your liquidity. They need of generating volume and building a great portfolio for themselves. Because right now they're running at a loss with the 0 fees, and they're fighting for any retailer that they can get. At the first glance, of course, this is great because it looks good for us. This is what we've been looking forward to, and it's a great occasion. However, we have to keep in mind that all these newcomers that are entering the crypto space, that are hopeful that they're going to be exposed to cryptocurrency, they're not, because those who hold the real deal is not even these asset managers themselves. It's actually their authorized participants. So the authorized participants are the ones really behind buying all these Bitcoins for them. So with that said, let's look at something here. I had prepared, and let me know if you can hear the audio. Let me know if you can hear the audio. I'm looking at the chat right now. You can tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear the audio? Let me know in the chat if you can hear the audio. Okay, great. Thanks for feedback. Then let me summarize this. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. First of all, let me tag this. Let me copy this. This is very important. Let me share this with you. You can watch it later. So what this was about, let me summarize it. I'll summarize it and watch it from, if you go down here, you'll see it's called One Liquidity King. One Liquidity King. It's from 5th minute. It's just like a 1-minute section. However, what these individuals are saying, especially this individual right now, he's talking about how they're all fighting for the retailers. And all 11 of them, there can only be one liquidity king, one volume king, one ETF issuer that will win the race. And whoever manages to be the first, let's look at this right here. They're all in a race. That's why they were all issued at the same time, all 11 of them. So they're all racing, willing to lower their fees to zero, to waiver fees for up to a year, to get your business, to get liquidity from you. And they're all fighting for you. And this is such a beautiful section right here. I would love you to listen to. So I put the link down there. After this, you can really go and listen to this session starting from 5 minutes. So basically what he's saying is that there's only one liquidity king at the end out of these 11. And they will dominate so much so. And as they do so, more and more larger and larger institutions will join that pool. Is basically explaining the importance of liquidity and how this is why these institutions, they are willing to run on a negative. They're willing to take losses in the short term to gain your business. That's why they're on a bidding war as far as fees are concerned. They're lowering fees, and they kept lowering them up to the approval point. So at the end of the day, there'll be only one winner with the deepest liquidity, and every other institution will be running to them and they won't even care about the high fees. They'll care about the deep liquidity. He's explaining how important deep liquidity is, and that's whoever has the deepest and wins the race as far as having the most adaptation for the ETFs, and whoever acquires the most volume from these launches, that ETF will dominate, and all other institutions after that will run to them because they have the deepest liquidity, and people love to trade knowing that there is liquidity in there. So I put the link for you to just listen in. Unfortunately, I don't know why you can't listen to the audio. If you go down here, that section is called One Liquidity King. It's from 5 minutes, 5th minute, you can listen to it, just a minute session. So this is just to highlight and to show you, why are they fighting for you? Why are they all in a race fighting for your business? They're on a bidding war, on a fee war for you. It's because they want to get ahead. They want to get ahead of each other, because whoever wins this race will win everybody else's liquidity. So liquidity is extremely important, community. Now, keep in mind, the topic of today, it's all about community. Why is community so important? Because yes, it's great that we have all these. It's great that we have BlackRock and other asset managers with us. That's amazing. And it's great that we are being now recognized mainstream wise. And cryptocurrencies now with the ETFs, we are globally accepted as a legitimate asset class. This is all great. And of course, also, like I discussed, how the credibility is very important as well. So we are no longer looked at as that wild, wild west place, even though Jamie Dimon will disagree with me right now, because he's still claiming that it's just for, where is it? He's still claiming that it's all for criminals and this is what it's used for. This is the use case. Now, let's zoom out and look at what this means for us with these ETFs now that they're approved. And we need to understand that these asset managers, they're just the forefront. They're just the tip of the iceberg. The real person behind that makes the moves is Jamie Dimon and, of course, JP Morgan. And JP Morgan has been caught in many activities that were not right, you know. And I won't get too much into detail, but they already had multiple fraudulent. They had They made multiple fraudulent activities in ETFs with precious metals, and some of their traders actually got some time. And what I want to show you here, for example, in September 2020, JP Morgan admitted to committing wire fraud in connection with unlawful trading in markets for precious metals. Okay, and also with futures contracts in the secondary market, in the cash market, with notes and treasury bonds. So they're not. It's just ironic to see how the ones that are actually calling out crypto to be fraudulent, they're really leaders in that industry. They're really leaders in that section. They haven't been playing fair, especially in the commodities session, where they have been caught manipulating the markets. And there's another interesting video here that I would have loved to play for you, but you can't watch it. The title is Silver and Gold Market Manipulation Explained. And right here, you see at the center stage, of course, is JP Morgan. They were charged with manipulating the market once more. And this just explains how everything went down. They were charged by the Department of Justice, and they were found guilty. So here we have JP Morgan, who is actually the authorized participant for BlackRock. And he is an individual that freezes accounts of regular crypto enthusiasts. If they find you, they actually ordered in the UK that customers' accounts should be frozen, and you can't purchase cryptocurrencies using your debit card or through your bank transfers. Why am I pointing this out? It's because right now, next thing we're about to experience is a banking crisis. That's what's coming next. Banks have been bailed out, and they've been on a loan, and this loan is expiring in March, and this needs to be renewed. They used the loans to purchase bonds, but they purchased them when the interest rate was close to zero or at zero. But since the interest rate hike, they're actually operating at a loss, and they have a lot of losses, unrealized losses right now. And if it continues like this, banking system might collapse. So to avoid all that, of course, that's how the interest rates are going to be forcefully cut back to in the region of zero, and very aggressively too. And this is, of course, something great for us. This is a catalyst for us. So everything is working perfectly. But back to just what it means for banks, there will be a consolidation. That's where I'm heading to. What I mean with consolidation is these larger banks will take on smaller banks, smaller regional banks, or those that won't be able to make it. And there'll be a big consolidation. So there'll be fewer banks, but they'll be much larger and have much more power. And of course, JP Morgan already being the largest one, it will be even bigger. And having the head of the company banning crypto users, banning crypto payments, it's not a good look. And this is something that we really need to pay attention to, that we have an individual that is operating or is controlling the cash flow or the liquidity, the liquidity flow of the ETFs, whatever comes in and out. And they also have a history of being manipulative with precious metals, also with ETFs, derivatives. And ETFs are derivatives just the same. Now the asset is just different. It's called Bitcoin now, but it works the same. So where am I heading with this? Centralization has arrived right now. Centralization has just arrived. And we need to understand that Bitcoin now is in the hands of Wall Street. Why am I saying that? We were privileged. Those who use DeFi, decentralized exchanges, such as Uniswap, for example, or PancakeSwap if you're on Binance, but Uniswap in our case, We have full control of our own wallets. We own those assets. They're ours. We own those tokens, those cryptocurrencies, those coins. We owned them. It's ours. And these individuals that are coming in purchasing ETFs, they don't own those cryptocurrencies. They don't own the real deal. They're just given the paper version of it. So all this mass adoption that is coming in, all these individuals are coming in from using these mainstream platforms, using these 11 ETF issuers. Keep in mind, they're not going to be holding the real deal. They're not going to hold the real assets. So the real assets will be held by none other than the authorized participants. And in this case, it's JP Morgan. So bank, one of the largest banks in the world that has a track record of manipulating the markets, especially derivatives, ETFs, and that is already completely anti-crypto, and actually suggested to the government that if it was up to him, he would actually shut down crypto altogether. This is the same. This is the same JP Morgan Chase that put out a notice that customers will no longer be able to purchase cryptocurrencies using their debit card and banking transfers. So imagine once the banking collapse starts and consolidation happens and they start purchasing, getting all these banks and having major control over them. And they're the ones in charge of the ETFs. And you need to go through banks, obviously, or use your debit card to initiate your first purchase into crypto. So obviously everyone has to go through a bank of some sort. We'll have to use them. So, and having the head of the bank being anti-crypto, and this same individual is the one that is the authorized participant of the majority of these ETFs issued. This just shows you that many that will be entering the space will not be able to hold the real deal. They'll get these shares, ETF shares, and not the real cryptocurrency that they want, in this case, Bitcoin, for example. Okay, now that we understand that, what does that mean to us? This means that these institutions are going to accumulate more and more cryptocurrencies, and whoever holds the gold makes the rules. Eventually, and to paint the picture even clearer, these asset managers right here, they alone hold more than 40 trillion in asset under management. So they alone can move and shift markets single-handedly. And since they have everything lined up for themselves, they're well organized. They're working together. First of all, they're working together, bidding. They have a bidding war, but at the end of the day, they're all working together. And now they have the bank. They're monopolizing the banking industry. They took the largest bank to be the authorized participant, meaning they're the ones in charge of the liquidity of these ETFs. And then they only have one custodian, Coinbase, and they're working together. They're putting everything in place so that everything is centralized. They have a centralized, Coinbase is centralized because all of them, all 11 of these except one, Fidelity, is not using them as a Coinbase as their custodian. Everybody else, and that's because Fidelity they're mining themselves. They've been mining since 2014. But now Coinbase is the majority custodian of all these large NFTs that we see here, ETF issuers that we see here. So they obviously are working towards a monopoly. They have a banking monopoly with JP Morgan. They have a custodian monopoly with Coinbase, and they are holding a monopoly among themselves as well. So they're strategizing to take a chokehold on crypto. And how best to take a chokehold on crypto? pick the biggest one, which is Bitcoin. Because if you can capture Bitcoin, you can capture the rest of the industry, because Bitcoin holds more than half of all the market cap of the entire industry. So what we did so far is just to paint the situation, paint the picture right now. Now that the ETFs are out, we looked at the players, BlackRock and their companions, all 11 of them, asset managers holding over 40 trillion under asset management. They appointed majority of them, JP Morgan, to be the authorized participants, meaning they're the ones actually owning the Bitcoins purchased. And they're just selling shares back to these asset managers so that they can trade them to as these ETFs to the market, to individuals and institutions. But the real owners of these of the Bitcoin that is being purchased are authorized participants, meaning it's JP Morgan. And we know what the stand is with the CEO, Jamie Dimon, and we know what the stand is and what he's been doing, with crypto. And he openly said it. If it was up to him, he would shut it down. Okay, now we've painted that picture. Let's now understand what's going on and why it's important for the future of crypto to be able to be building a community that is a global community that works together, because these individuals, they're working together in the best interest. And like I said, these ETF purchasers, they're not getting the real deal. Like you are using decentralized exchanges, you have the real deal. It's your wallet, you have full control over it. And that's what it's supposed to be in the first place, right? We looked at this before. You should be able to buy, sell, and exchange your goods and services without any authority, centralized authority, or any bank. This is what blockchain technology was all about. This is what it was meant to be in the first place. And the best part here, that digital ledger technology is based on cryptographic proof, not trust. And with all these that we talked about so far, we don't see any of that. We only see centralized authorities. We see the centralized bank that are intermediaries as far as the ETFs are concerned. So the way these individuals, these institutions are moving, they're moving strategically. They have a plan and they're getting this done. They're setting everything up properly. Now, to really be able to understand what the core values are of Bitcoin, like we discussed, it was always about decentralization. It was always about being able to hold your own wallets, be your own bank. We don't need no centralized entity, somebody that is in between. There is no censorship. Censorship means this: banning payments, crypto payments. This is censorship. And this was not what crypto was meant to be. Okay? And immutable, meaning nobody can really freeze. It's still part of this. They can freeze your account, they can stop you from withdrawing, and all that. And this is just incredible. Where was it? Right here. You see this? Let's look at it. So reports showed that Vanguard, so this is one of these players that we just looked at, one of these large ETF providers, completely blocked customers' access to the publicly listed ETFs. So the customers can only sell right now. They can only sell, they can't buy. That's what they did. And this is just a report that just happened 2 hours ago. So this is what we mean with immutable. Cryptocurrency can't be immutable. Nobody can freeze your assets if you have your own wallet and hold your own keys. They can't do that. But if you have centralization, this is what they do to you. They'll just stop you from selling, from buying, and that's fine. There's nothing you can do about it. They can freeze your account or ban you from purchasing cryptocurrency. They can do that because there's a centralized entity in between. We also have to understand this. And of course, the network effect. Bitcoin is the globally most accepted, widely adopted cryptocurrency, and so on and so forth. So we need to go back to the basics. We need to go back to the fundamentals. However, it's easier said than done, because when if we look at our other tokens, it's easier said than done, because the community never failed. Communities have always done extremely well, meaning that communities have always rallied behind projects, community projects. Community projects have been doing extremely well. Let's look at some of them. If we look at even the top 20, we see real community tokens. And this was the first one. It was meant to be actually just a plain joke, but eventually it had such a large community. It's incredible. And this is what it's all about, you know. Like, you want to have a community that is behind you, stands behind you, and that you can build a large community. So communities have never failed. These are the two largest community tokens that really amassed a large following, a large holder amount, and all that. So, but what was missing? Now, let's get to the part that we really need to pay attention to. And what's been failing us are the platforms. The platforms have been failing us. What do I mean with that? Having a large community is a luxury. It's a real luxury. And we're talking about 1.5, 2 million. These are large communities. However, the platforms and the of these community platforms and tokens were not built to really sustain this large community and really take advantage of all the liquidity volume that is actually generated by the community. It hasn't been taking advantage of that. So we identified 3 issues, critical issues, that really caused the communities not to be able to really prosper and have their own network and build their own hub where they can use the resources that they have. 1 million people, that's larger than some cities in the world. And this is where our downfall is so far. We haven't had a platform that is completely developed that can accommodate such a large influx of or such a large community and prosper. There's 3 factors that we're missing, 3 factors that are affecting the industry. And that is for the one we always talk about, that liquidity. And this is what these ETFs are after. This is why they're fighting. They're having a bidding war, a fee war, because they need you. They need your liquidity. They need you to participate. They need your business. That's why they're willing to lower their fees, waiver their fees for the first year or 6 months. And whoever wins the race of liquidity will make the rules and will win, will dominate the space. So liquidity plays a major role. It's extremely important. And we'll get into more details. We'll do a calculation, we'll do an example at the end as we're closing out to really make this point. The second one is inflation. We did this before. We looked at these major blue chip institutions. They have beautiful utilities. They really have wonderful use cases. However, we all looked at how inflationary they are, right? We saw the inflation. We saw how inflationary that. If we zoom out, we see how inflation does, what inflation does to a utility token, unfortunately. If you don't have the right fundamentals, if you don't have a binding mechanism, if you're not deflationary, if you're not scarce, this is all the volume won't help you. These guys have close to 300 million in volume in one day. However, it doesn't really help them because the fundamentals is not good. So inflation is the second thing. After liquidity, it's inflation. And then the final one goes hand in hand with this. Inefficient use of the volume. If you have such volume, you should be able to effectively use it for the benefit of the community, the token itself, and the ecosystem. Those are the 3 failures. And that's why I'm not singling out anyone, because this affects the whole industry. even if we pick Uniswap, it looks the same. They all look the same because the whole industry has the same issue. So we're not picking on any single entity. But just to bring the point home, we will pick our community project and then do the calculations at the end. But before we do that, I want us to understand one thing. It's an amazing time we're in right now. We can't stress that enough. We're at a time where the choices we make now and the decisions we make now will determine what this industry will become down the road. I made an example in the last video how when Apple was, when the first iPhone came out, and how the iPhone was able to, Apple as a company was able to express themselves, develop a lot of things, and it caused a new economy, and they flourished, and till now, they're the market leaders. And if we are not given that opportunity as an industry, as a cryptocurrency industry, and are being choked out right now, or letting us being choked out, we won't be able to develop the way we were supposed to. We won't be able to have the full potential. What's bothering in this industry as well is the tribalism, the scams, the inefficiencies that we just mentioned, inflation. We looked at different ones, like illiquid projects, and they're not using the volume efficiently. And beyond that, our ecosystem stresses heavily on three other aspects. The second one is what is partially what we're doing right now. It's the educational part. What really will attract people, newcomers into the crypto space is education, because many are not familiar, many are not aware what the cryptocurrency industry is about, what cryptocurrency is all about. And education will give them, will open doors and more understanding to them to be more comfortable with the space. But if mainstream is sending them and is directing them to purchase these ETFs, which is like paper currencies and not the real deal, they'll miss out on all that education. So it's important for us to build a hub, a community, a global community, where we don't have to fear scams, rug pulls, where we can be educated, where we can build a social network, where strong fundamentals are within the platform, which is we are solving the liquidity issue, we are deflationary, we are scarce, we are giving back to the community, and we have a strong fundamentals and a platform that can accommodate millions of people. And actually, the larger we become as a community, the more successful our ecosystem becomes, the more successful our token becomes. You can have all the utilities you want. Let's look at another one. You can have all the utilities you want, but if your fundamentals and your tokenomics is not right, it won't help you. It doesn't do you any good. Okay? We're not picking on a single project. We're just looking at the issues that we are facing in the space. Okay? And they're all the same. We're all facing the same issue. So I hope this painted a picture for right now, because it's important for us to understand the issues in the market are those three issues: lack of liquidity, inflation, and not using your volume efficiently. You can't have 225 million in volume and your ecosystem token looks like this. This is not good use of your volume, and it's not good for the community, and it scares newcomers, because if you have 200 million in volume and your project looks like this, there's something fundamentally wrong. Literally, you don't have a burning mechanism. You're not retaining any liquidity, obviously, because you'll be more stable. And then also, if you have a staking platform, you should be able to lock out the circulating supply. But if you issue your own token, this is what happens. So you can be a unicorn in this space, literally, like Uniswap is. But if your fundamentals are weak, you will be just an average token like everybody else. And this is what sets us apart with our ecosystem. So besides the fundamentals, which are important, scarcity, retention of liquidity, the use of volume, we also offer education on a weekly basis. We also create our own community tokens. We develop our own community tokens. We have two of them. We have Survivor and we have Killer Whale. And these two tokens, we decided to develop our own because the scams that are out here, the rug pulls, we want to protect the community. These are all part of the education. And if we have a platform, a home where we as crypto enthusiasts, not just the Bullrun community, but we as a crypto community can find a hub, a headquarter where we can rally, come and huddle and really take advantage of this blockchain technology. Use it the way it was supposed to be used. We will do extremely well. We will do extremely well. Let's look at something let's look at something. I'd like us to look at something. If we look at, I'm interested in the holders. But to get the most accurate number, we have to look at Etherscan. We are making a point here. This is a large community, larger than some of the largest cities in the world. 1.3, almost 1.4 million. This is a whole country. And having such an army is very important. But even more important is having, like I said, this is not bashing on anyone. We're just making a point that affects the whole industry. It affects the entire industry. It's good to have such a large army. This is what we aim for, eventually to have 1 million and above community members. But if you don't have the right fundamentals, if you don't retain liquidity, if you don't ban tokens, if you're not scarce, if you don't use your volume effectively, it will not take you anywhere. It won't help you. And this is the issue that we're facing in this industry. This is the issue right now. And if we don't fix it, our competition now is no more with all these Inus. Our competition now is with JP Morgans, with Apples, with Microsofts. You get the point. So the competition is different now because they're entering the blockchain space now. This is where the real projects with strong fundamentals will be separated from the weaker ones that don't have strong fundamentals. This is now when fundamentals count. And I'm going to make a point in the closing because we need to calculate some things. We need a home as a community, as a crypto community. We need a home. We need a place where we can accommodate 1 million people. Have a platform where when we have 1 million people, and what was the volume? And a volume of 500 million. Okay, no, this is not it. The volume of 367 million. That's in 24 hours. You have 367 million in volume. Again, just to make my point, we are making a point. This is not picking on anyone, okay? We're not picking on anyone. And as you see, this just looks like Uniswap's chart. This looks like Aave chart. It's like all the charts look like this. And this just proves the point that if you don't have strong fundamentals, if you're not deflationary, you're not buying tokens, if you're not retaining liquidity to bring stability, if you're not using your volume effectively, there is no point. if you have you can have 1.4 million holders, but if you don't use, if you don't take advantage of your community in a good way, like really utilize it efficiently by having strong fundamentals, it looks like any other chart with only 50,000 holders. So let's bring this home. One thing I have to say, a disclaimer. When I got into crypto, Shiba is my first love. This is how I got into crypto, through Shiba. It was my first token, first investment, and even on my YouTube channel, of course, as you know, when we go there, it's all about SHIB. So that's a disclaimer. It's like I said, I don't pick on any project. I talked about Uniswap, Aave, all of these projects. It's an industry issue. It's not based on individuals. It's an industry issue. So as you all know, just so you know, a disclaimer, I'm a big SHIB proponent. I'm for it. Love the ecosystem, love the community, amazing community. I mean, it's amazing to go from literally zero to now dominate so much and be in the top 16, cryptocurrencies, and this as a community token. So a lot of love and respect for the ecosystem, for the project. So it's not picking on anything, just that, to get that out of the way. It's just making a point that in the industry, we are lacking on those fundamentals, starting from Bitcoin all the way to the number 100. You can look at the top 100 cryptocurrencies, and if you zoom out, they all look alike. They look alike. And Bitcoin, of course, always takes the lead. And nowadays, the aim is not to be listed on Binance, but the aim is to be listed on the exchanges as an ETF. That's the new standard now. And that's what Bitcoin set. So Bitcoin is always the big one, the big brother that really made it to the big leagues now. However, the point here is that I'm trying to make, now let's do the math. We need to do the math to really understand what's going on here. Because now we looked at all this. And all the charts look the same. Now let's bring this point home. It's time to bring this home now. It's time to zoom in. We've zoomed out enough. We've discussed inflation. We've discussed lack of liquidity. And this lack of liquidity affects a lot of projects. We did calculations very many times. We did these calculations with Bitcoin, but it affects Shiba as well. If we do a quick math here, for example, there's 20, let's calculate the liquidity to market cap ratio. 26 million divided by its market cap, which is 6 billion. We multiply by 100 to get the percent. So the liquidity to market cap ratio is 0.4%. Okay, 0.4%. And again, for those who don't understand this just, if you do the math, you get a number between 0 and 100. 0 is closer to not being liquid, meaning that you have a hard time cashing out, getting out your money, because the project is not liquid. It's like depositing your money in a bank, and if you come next week and there were many people ahead of you to withdraw the funds, you're in bad luck. You won't get your money out of the bank. Basically, that's what it calculates. So the closer it is to 0, the more the illiquid it is. But the closer to 100, the more liquidity it is there is in there. And you want to be the closest to 100. Like I said, just one more time, we're not picking on any specific one. At least Shiba is 0.4. Let's look at our big brother that just got into the big leagues with the ETFs. 885 million. Let's divide that by 912 billion. So Shiba is basically 5 times better than, has a 5 times better liquidity than Bitcoin. So this is just showing you how liquidity crisis is real. This is bothersome. There are a lot of articles. Go and do your own research based on this. Bitcoin already had a lot of liquidity issues. It's just not a favorite topic to discuss, but this has been an issue. Okay, this has been a major issue. Liquidity crisis. Always been a liquidity crisis with Bitcoin. So if you have a liquidity to market cap ratio of 0.09, not even 0.1 now, it's an issue. So we're not just picking on SHIB. SHIB has actually 5 times better liquidity to market cap ratio than even Bitcoin. So now let's get to the math now. We need to now get this point home. It's time to bring this home. We need a home, and this home should do the following. This home should first of all have strong fundamentals. It should be able to have a solution for 3 challenges in the space. The first one, liquidity. We just looked at it. Second, inflation. We just looked at it. And thirdly, the efficient use of your volume. This is what we're about to calculate as well now, as we're closing, as we're wrapping up and making a point. Those are just the fundamentals. You should be scarce, you should be retaining liquidity, and you should be able to give back to your community based on the volume they generate, because this is what these ETFs are doing right now. Where is it? Here. They're fighting for you. They're willing to waive fees 6 months to 1 year. They're fighting for your liquidity right now, because it's 11 players right now, and there can only be one winner. That's it. There can only be one. It's 11 of them, but there will be only one liquidity king right here, or liquidity queen. There'll be just one. So they're all fighting for you. They're lowering the fees to get to where you are. So the volume is important. They're looking for volume right now for their ETFs. So this just shows you the importance of it. Now, we have a platform here that was built to address those 3 challenges we just discussed. Besides that, it's built to educate. We have 3 weekly events. We educate the community on the industry. We educate the community on how to open your wallet, decentralized, how to use a decentralized exchange, how to swap, and of course, about our ecosystem. Thirdly, we develop our own tokens so that we don't have to deal with all the bad actors out here, be it through scams, rug pulls, honeypots. We develop our own community tokens so that we have the first dip in them. 2 ways to succeed in this space is get early in a vibrant community and get early in the tokens. When you're part of this ecosystem, part of this community, these are just extras. These are just the benefits that you get for that. And then finally, the social network aspect of it. We are so divided as a crypto community. We are 15 years old, 15 years, but we are so divided. We don't have like a headquarters where we can really call home, where we can come together, gather together, and around a platform that we can really call home and be a social platform and build a community like that. Many who made it like Dogecoin, for example, and SHIB, they made it. They have large communities. We just looked at them. They have 1.4 million holders. This is amazing. This is the aim. But now the community did their job. It's 1.4 million worth of them. But what does the platform do? It's been the platform that really didn't pull their weight. And because we observed that in the last bull run, we were able to develop a platform that really addresses all those things like we just discussed. Now let's do the math. and we take our favorite one, our community token, that I'm a big fan of. I have great admiration of it, and I just wish they really implemented, and I know they will implement the banning mechanism. They're working on it, and I'm also sure they'll work on their staking platform as well. Once they do that, the sky's the limit. So let's do the math using this volume, because the issue here is inefficiency of volume. We just looked at liquidity and inflation. Let's look at the volume now. This is 367 million in a day. But just for the sake of math, let's take 360. Let's call it even, 360. Let's say we had the volume of a community token that has 1.4 million holders. Let's use 360. What would it look like if they had our fundamentals? Okay. Let's look at that. And this is what will really shock us. We really need to understand this. Let's take the 360 million and multiply by 1%. We get 3.6 million. Okay, 3.6 million is 1% of the 360 million. Now, what do we do with that? That means 3.6 million. Let me keep the numbers up. That means 3.6 million worth of tokens will be banned. And this is on all three tokens, okay? If we look at the tokenomics, this is also 1%. So 3.6 million worth of Killer Whale, 3.6 million worth of Survivor tokens on a daily basis, just one day, would be banned, will be removed from the circulating supply. And if we look at the largest wallet right now, for Survivor, the largest wallet right now, the number one wallet, just behind the liquidity pool, is exactly the ban wallet. It's already the largest wallet, just behind the liquidity pool. It banned already 590 million tokens, which is closing in on 6%. And it will keep doing that. So every single day, 3.6 million worth of tokens would be removed from circulation. You picture that. So this number will keep increasing dramatically on a daily basis, because this is a volume for one day. Same with Survivor. And with Bullrun, it's actually removing it from the total supply. Because with Bullrun now, we started with 1 million, and now we're down to 972. So it removes it not just from the circulating supply, but from the total supply. So 3.6 million worth of Bullrun tokens would be removed from the total supply right now. That's what you call scarcity. And if you have that type of mechanism, your chart doesn't look like this. If you're banning 3.6 million worth of tokens every day, your chart definitely doesn't look like this, especially moving them from the total supply. Let's move on. The next one is, let's look at distributions, USDC. So these are staking rewards. We have a staking platform here, and it's a contract. It's a smart contract. You can look it up and see how much we have right now. Right now we're sitting on only 600 USDC because the low volume. So this what you see right here, 3.6 million would go right in here in USDC. This is the staking contract. So anybody who is staking Bullrun right now, and our staking platform is the largest. This is the number one wallet is our staking contract. It ends with CE4. You see here, CE4, this is the staking contract. And the 3.6 million would be right here in USDC, waiting for you every single day. So you, as a community member who's staking your BRL tokens, you'll be able to receive 3.6 million on a daily basis in USDC right here. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's multiply this now by 3. We get 10.8 million, okay? Over 10 million. This, where does this go? This goes towards liquidity. So close to 11 million every day would be added to the liquidity pool. And because these tokens don't do that, you see all this going like this. And you see the liquidity to market cap ratio are really horrible. Because despite this high volume, you don't have, besides this high volume, you don't utilize the volume effectively. So we are doing 3 things here. We're adding liquidity, 10 million, close to 11 million worth of liquidity is being added to the token. 3.6 million is being burnt every day, and 3.6 million is for you, community. It goes right here in the staking, contract. Right now we have 600. It will be 3.6 million right now if we had that volume right now. 3.6 million waiting for the community to stake. And those who are staking the tokens, which is the majority, close to 58%, they'll be receiving over 3.5 million every day just in USDC. So this is what I mean, that we are lacking a platform in this crypto space that gives back to the community. First of all, that uses the volume that they have. If we look at this volume, this is a good volume to have. Over 300 million in volume. It should be able to utilize that volume with good causes. Give back to the community with staking distributions. Retain liquidity. That would be over 10 million worth of liquidity, almost 11 million worth of liquidity every single day. And like we saw here, to make a point, they have 25, close to 26 million in volume, in liquidity, right? In one day alone, if they would use our tokenomics, our fundamentals, they will be having close to 11 million just in one day alone. So within 2 days, they're already caught up with this. They doubled this liquidity just in 2 days using these fundamentals that we have. So the point I'm trying to make here is that communities are built very quickly, especially those with over a million holders, but they lack strong fundamentals that can really make a token not look like this, but it will build up a token. So having strong fundamentals is important. All the use cases and utilities obviously doesn't help, as you see. But if you have a strong foundation, strong fundamentals, and then you have 1 million holders and 360 million in volume, you shouldn't be looking like this. You shouldn't be looking like this. And this is what we are lacking. This is what we are lacking. You should be looking like this with 360 million in volume. This is just bad. This is not good. And this is an industry-wide issue, because if we pick on Bitcoin, it's even worse. If we look at Bitcoin, it's even worse, because Bitcoin has 45 billion in volume. 45 billion in volume. Let's close out with this, just for the fun of it. Let's have the Bitcoin's volume. 45 billion. 1%. 450 million. Okay? 1% of Bitcoin's current volume is 450 million. Let's use that 450 million. 450 million worth of tokens will be banned from Killer Whale and from Survivor. 450 million, okay? And with Bullrun, like we said, it will remove it from the total supply. It will go even a step further and decrease even. It will keep decreasing. It will be even lower and lower. Now, that same 450 million, guess what? is for you, community, because you deserve it in the form of staking rewards. We have a staking platform that will accumulate 450 million worth of tokens in USDC for you, for the community. And you'll get it because what? Because we have a high volume. And where does this volume come from? From retail, from you. This is all yours. And this is what I mean with the ones purchasing ETFs. They're not buying the real deal. It is this ETF. It's actually JP Morgan that is purchasing it. So we that are in the space, we need to purchase the real deal. Now, I want to make a point here. Let's stick with this. We haven't gotten to the liquidity. 450 million, right? Let's do this times 3. Yes, you saw it right. 1.3 billion. So let's make a point here. Bitcoin's liquidity right now is right above 900 million, 939 million. Let's just say 940 million right now. If they had our mechanism, in one day alone, they would accumulate more liquidity. Actually, almost 500 million more liquidity than what they have right now. How wasteful is this if you're not using your volume effectively? So this is not picking on Bitcoin. This is just making a point that our community, the crypto community, doesn't have a platform like the one we have at Bullrun that accumulates and takes advantage of the volume. So we did the math. We would be accumulating 1.3 billion worth of liquidity every single day if we had Bitcoin's volume. This is way more than what Bitcoin has right now. They're not even up to 1 billion. And they would have accumulated 1.3 billion in one day. And I want us to really understand what this means. Let's multiply that one by 30. So we have a month. In 1 month, with this volume, Bitcoin would be sitting on over 40 billion in liquidity. So it would be more than 40 times what they have right now, just in 1 month. Let's do this times 12. They'll be sitting on 486 billion in liquidity right now. I think you get the idea now. I think you get the idea. So what does that mean? If Bitcoin will be sitting on 486 billion, these institutions, they will not have to go through over the counter. They will not have to trade outside of centralized exchanges. They would come right here and trade right here where everybody trades. But because it's so illiquid, they're not bothering. They're not coming anywhere close to this. So in 1 year alone, Bitcoin would be sitting on 486 billion. So almost 500 more than what it is right now. What does that mean? Even if you have Bitcoin billionaires, they can cash out. They don't have to worry. They can cash out anytime they want because there's a liquidity in here, right? But as of now, they have to go over the counter. It's not liquid. There's no liquidity in here. So this is what we are working towards, community. This is the whole point we're making. This is why liquidity is important. This is why they're lowering the fees and fighting for you. They need your liquidity, the exit liquidity, believe it or not. Because right now, even if we look at the chart, they're taking the profits. Guess what this is? People are taking the profits. You did well. This is all your liquidity that is being cashed out right now. Retail liquidity. And this is sad. This was supposed to explode, right? Bitcoin was supposed to be at 60,000 right now with all this volume, right? In the first 30 minutes, 1.2 billion worth of volume already. That's a lot of volume. So why is the price going down? Why is it not skyrocketing? Because they're using retail as exit liquidity. That's the sad reality. They're purchasing over the counter, and then they come over here and sell it on the open market, where retail is willingly giving them the liquidity. This is why, community, don't be the exit liquidity. Be part of an ecosystem that retains it for you. So you won't be the exit liquidity. If they had this tokenomics, they would be sitting on $500 billion worth of liquidity right now. $500 billion. Nobody has anything close to that in liquidity. But this is what we, as an ecosystem, as a token, would be sitting on just in 1 year, because these fundamentals that we have. So I hope this really opened your eyes to what kind of a platform that we have, what kind of an ecosystem we've built, and how important it is to retain liquidity. So if we say we are liquidity king, we literally are, and talking about that, and liquidity queen as well, because killer whale is the same. And of course, survivor is the same. It's exactly the same. With every trade, 1% is being removed permanently from circulation, and this helps the liquidity to grow healthy. And this is very important, community, to understand. I hope this video really opened your eyes and you have a better understanding. I hope these numbers really get to you, and you see how wasteful the industry is. And you see how even if you have 1.2 million, 1.4 million almost, holders, community members, but you don't have strong fundamentals, your chart will look like this. This is how your chart will look. This is sad. You can't have 1.4 million holders, 360 million in volume, and your chart looks like this. This is pathetic. This is wrong. This is weak fundamentals. And this is not just Shiba. This is Uniswap. Okay, the same thing. This is Aave. Okay, same thing. Curve is even worse. Curve is a nightmare. Curve looks like a rug pull. Okay, and these things are scaring. These things are the things that scare newcomers in the crypto space. And we don't want to scare people off. We want to welcome them. We want them to. We want to accommodate them. We want them to have a home. And this is what we are building with this ecosystem. So I hope these numbers just gave you a figure, gave you an idea of how effective our ecosystem is, and that all we need is now adaptation. And like we said, a lot of projects have not been accommodating the community and taking advantage of that holder amounts that they have, not even Bitcoin. And we saw that in 1 day alone, with Bitcoin's volume, it would generate 1.5 the volume it has. I mean, the liquidity it has right now. It's not even sitting on 1 billion in volume. It would have 1.4 billion just in 1 day alone based on this volume. So this just gives you an idea of how important this ecosystem is, how the fundamentals are important. We built a platform where we can now use the liquidity and volume that is about to enter this space. Now with the ETFs approved, this is great for us. Now we can really go all in, and we can really take advantage of this. The interest rates are getting ready to be cut. Okay, in 2024, they'll be radically cut. We saw here, the election year is coming. The ETFs are already approved. Like we saw 11 of them. They're already being traded right now. Okay. And the Bitcoin halving is just an extra cherry on the top. So we have these events that are still ahead of us that will bring us the liquidity and the volume that we need to really show the world that strong fundamentals are important, because none of these that we saw right now, none of these have any fundamentals, none of them. And if we can rally a community around our ecosystem to build a global community of crypto community, we have a platform here built that is ready to accommodate you. Call this your home, where you get education basically on a daily basis, if not on these weekly events on Zoom or on Google Meets. We develop our own tokens, community tokens, to avoid all the scams and rug pulls. We are growing as a social network. We have content creators, community leaders, artists, all of that within our ecosystem. And we keep growing on a daily basis. We are very active on social platforms. And most importantly, we have strong fundamentals that the top 100 here don't have. The charts look alike, all of them. They all look alike. So community, this is the message for today. I want us to be proud of what we have. I want us to understand that we have advanced mechanism in this industry. It's a unique mechanism that if you apply this mechanism to any of these top 100, we just saw how much better they will be doing. We looked at Bitcoin and we looked at Shiba. And if they applied what we have, we saw how much better they would be. So community, this is the message for today, that all we need now is adaptation and a global community. We can accommodate all of that based on the fundamentals that we have, based on the 3 solutions we have for inflation, for lack of liquidity, and also for the lack of effective use, efficient use of the volume. And we made examples and looked all 3 of them. We are liquid. We have deep liquidity. We accumulate USDC distributions for our stakers. We are burning. We are very scarce. And we have strong fundamentals. Let me close with calculating our own liquidity to market cap ratio, just to be fair. Remember, Bitcoin was 0.09, and Shiba was 0.4. If we calculate ours, and another thing is the incredibly low market cap. We are sitting at 61% right now, over 60% right now, compared to 0.1 and 0.4. And this is with a very modest volume, basically no volume. So this is why it's important that you have the basics. We have the hardest part is what we have right now. All these projects, they're trying to figure out how they can build something to be deflationary. They're trying to see how they can come up with something that they can start buying tokens. They can start having a more efficient use of their volume. They're trying to scramble and find out. But we don't have to scramble. We already have it from day one. That's the hardest part, that the top 100 cryptocurrencies, they don't have that mechanism. We have it from day one. Now the easy part is to bring adaptation, to grow as an ecosystem, as a community. That's the easiest part, especially now that volume is coming in, liquidity is coming in, the rush in FOMO of cryptocurrencies is coming in, and a lot of people will be researching which communities to join. We are the right home, and we want to be the right home for them. The Bullrun ecosystem is bigger than the Bullrun community. The Bullrun ecosystem is not just for us, it's for the crypto space. Because the solutions we have are based on the challenges we face as an industry. This is an industry issue that we have. Inflation, lack of liquidity, lack of efficiency use of volume. It affects everyone. We just saw it. From Bitcoin down to the number 100. Everybody faces the same issue. We have the solution for that. And we have the solution for many other things. We want to be the educational platform for the space, a home, a headquarters for the crypto community, where we have a platform that we can all rally behind. And the more we use it, the more we grow as an ecosystem. We just looked at the numbers. We'll be unstoppable, and we'll be able to succeed and flip everything ahead of us, in front of us. So do your own research, look deeper into this, understand that we are a platform that is forward thinking, solution oriented, and we found a way how to solve these challenges. We developed a platform that addresses them. And this is a platform that doesn't exist in this place right now, in the crypto space. And let's take advantage of this, and let's be part of this. If you want to be part of this movement, jump on board and be part of it. Even if it's just for the education, if it's just to socialize, if it's just to be part of a movement, be part of it. Because your other option is go get the ETFs, you'll get a paper handed to you, and you will not be part of this movement, or part of this revolution, part of this blockchain technology. You can be at the forefront and make history, or you can sit at the back end and get a paper handed to you saying that you own a share of an underlying asset called Bitcoin. That is extremely illiquid and is not even being traded by these 11. These 11 are not trading on where we are trading. They're trading over the counter. They're not wasting their liquidity on here. They have their own over-the-counter liquidity where they're using, because this is too illiquid, too dangerous. So we need to be careful that we are part of a revolution. We are part of a solution. Being the first doesn't always mean that you're perfect. And sometimes coming after gives you an advantage, because you can analyze and find solutions to what's lacking. And this is why I made the example with Apple. Apple came late in 2007. There were cell phones in the 90s already with Nokia. They came into the industry and changed, revolutionized the smartphones, how phones are used. Bullrun does the same thing. We came in 15 years after Bitcoin was created, and we're revolutionizing how to effectively use your volume, how to retain liquidity, and how to be scarce. That's what we are revolutionizing, because we are using this blockchain technology to do just that. This is it for me today, community. This is the message for today. I hope this really brought it home, and you understand the importance of being able to learn how to open your own wallet. We saw here the guy that is in charge of the volume of these ETFs. He's a big fan of banning people's wallets and banning people using crypto payments, at least in the UK. And he openly said that if it was up to him, he would shut down crypto. He would shut down Bitcoin. And this is the same individual that is an authorized participant, is in charge of the inflows and outflows of these ETFs that are being traded right now. So let's be mindful, let's be careful, let's be aware of what's happening in the market, in the industry. And let's make the right choices. If this is what you want, a paper note instead of the real deal, go for it. But if you want to use blockchain for what it was intended to be used for, then learn how to open your wallet, learn how to trade on decentralized exchanges, learn how to be your own bank without middlemen. And this is the best way to go about it, because especially once these banks start consolidating and they start freezing people's accounts and stopping and banning people's crypto payments, this will be bad. This will be horrible. So this is it for today, community. This is it. I hope it was informational to you. And I'm going to share my screen, single screen right now with you, and check back with you. And see if you have any feedbacks. So we can close this out. Knowledge is power. Knowledge gives you a sense of security, gives you a sense of safety, because you are assured of what you have. And this is why we really encourage everyone to participate in these events, community events, because that's what we just share about the industry, about the current events, how the industry works. And this is very important. So let me come back to you and check with you to see if you have any feedbacks that you want us to go through. I hope this session was informational to you, and we have a better understanding of what type of a platform that we have. It's a powerful platform that once adopted on the scale such as Shape, with 1.4 million users and 360 million in volume, community will be way above the top 20. We'll be up there, because the ecosystem works exactly the way it should be. And there's no solution to it right now, and we are the solution right now. We are the unicorn right now, and this is what sets us apart, community. And this is something we can be proud of. So just engaging, participating, being part of it, this brings awareness to our ecosystem, because we have enough educational material. We have weekly events. We have Google and Zoom meets. So anybody feel home. If you want just for the education, for the socializing, feel free to join our ecosystem. We have 2 other different tokens, like we said, of course, the women token dedicated to women, Survivor, very powerful token. We have Killer Whale dedicated to the whales. And then, of course, the mother token, Bullrun, with a staking platform like we just looked at. And that is scarce as far as in total supply. And all our tokens are deflationary. They are built to retain healthy liquidity. And we are ahead of the curve, because you have to be forward thinking. Thank you very much once more for everyone that participated today. It's such a pleasure having you all here today. It's always a pleasure to have these dialogues. And I'm looking forward to your comments. Let's look at your comments. I see Queen Colsey also joined us. Greetings, everyone, family. Greetings to you too, Queen Colsey. We see Queen Dumi here as well. Good evening, community. Good evening to you back as well. Wow. My aunt Jael Mbogo, welcome, auntie. It's good to have you here as well, Queen Jael. It's a pleasure having you here with us in the community. We have Queen Motlatsi as well. Evening, community. Evening to you as well. Yes, absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Queen Samantha as well. Queen Sharon, what a time to be alive. My brother Demo, the chess game ETFs approved to slow down momentum. The crisis fiat crashes. The solution, cryptocurrencies, tokenized assets, and regulations. Am I getting warm? You know, this is why I really value these sessions, because many are out of the loop and really don't see the big picture, really don't understand what kind of a chess game is being played here by Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't play nice. Wall Street is here to make money for their shareholders at your expenses, at our expenses as retailers. And this is why it's important to be part of an ecosystem that actually accumulates the liquidity for you, and you're not the exit liquidity for Wall Street. And we need to keep educating the crypto space. We need to be vigilant, persistent, committed, consistent, and just keep educating. So you're absolutely right, my good brother Demo. Unfortunately, this is a game that is being played with those who are unassuming, unaware. Queen Fortunate, it's a pleasure always having you here as well. Yes, you all make these sessions very powerful, and we all need to just understand this and be educated on all these. It's very important. My brother Franklin, BRL, Lord of Liquidity. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's what we aim for. We really aim to just be the most liquid ecosystem in the space, because we saw that it's in need. The space needs it. If our big brother Bitcoin is not liquid, we need to help him out. We need to be liquid. We need to set the standard, and we are setting the standard. We need that missing piece of the puzzle to get the engine running, and we're in the middle of it right now. This is why we want to go through this bull run and really generate that volume and the liquidity, and then you'll see how our ecosystem really does the work. I'm glad today we did the one-to-one match calculations to really see how effective our ecosystem is. And if these large community tokens had our tokenomics, that would have flipped Ethereum and Bitcoin, because the community sets the tone. And if you rally behind a community with a solid platform, with hundreds of thousands, if not million community holders, we have the platform to really take everything out of the way. And this is exactly what I used to say when I was with SHIB, because SHIB has such high volume and it has such a large user base. If they had a banning mechanism, like we just saw, we demonstrated, if they had the banning mechanism and a solid staking platform that removes the tokens from circulation with such a volume, SHIB would not be just sitting at number 16. SHIB would be easily in the top 5. Easily, just based on the volume, the scarcity, binding mechanisms, and staking. That alone would take SHIB to the moon. And this is what we saw and identified, that we really need to make things differently. We need to be better. We need to use the technology to be scarcer, more deflationary, have a solid and sustainable staking mechanism. And we demonstrated that if we had that volume, we saw what we would be doing. You're absolutely right, great brother Glenn. Let's share the news of Bullrun Life and get smart and hungry investors. Absolutely. The beauty of the ecosystem, it's a win-win for everyone. Those who hold and stake benefit. We just saw the numbers. We saw the numbers. They're crazy, especially for Bitcoin. In one day, 450 million in USDC distributions, in binding tokens, and then 3 times that, which was what? It was way over almost 11 billion worth of liquidity on a daily basis. We can achieve that. We have the platform for it. Now we just need to grow. We need to put the word out, just like Brother Glenn is saying here. We need to put the word out, keep educating, be consistent, and we'll be the token to be. We'll have the community behind us. We'll generate the deepest liquidity. And I put a link earlier for a video that I wanted to show you. Watch it from the one that says Liquidity King. Let's discuss it on Saturday in the VC. I'd like you community to really listen to that. This individual explains the power of liquidity, and this is why these ETF issuers are willing to go 0% in fee for 6 months up to a year to get your liquidity, get your volume. Queen Goleba, snoring and sleeping peacefully because I found a sweet home, Bullrun ecosystem. Nice to have you here, Queen Goleba. Always a pleasure. Queen Shirley, your passion and dedication to educate us is so inspiring. We can do this. This is time to shine. Absolutely, Queen Shirley. This is very, very important, you know. And like we just discussed, the hardest part is done. Why am I saying it's the hardest part? Because if you look at just like we looked at the top cryptocurrencies, they don't have such a mechanism that we have. They don't have such strong tokenomics and fundamentals that we have. And each time we plug in our tokenomics, our fundamentals to their volume, we see amazing, mind-blowing numbers. And we would single-handedly as a community solve the liquidity issues, be the most liquid token and ecosystem, burn the most tokens, and the most beautiful part is accumulate so much USDC that those whales that are holding large bags will not even want to get out of it. They'll just be sitting there and just accumulating USDC. So it's a win-win for everyone. For traders, because there's deep liquidity. For holders, because there's USDC distributions. It's a win-win. And you don't get a project like this. You only win if you are the first to sell. That's it. But that's another solution we brought in our ecosystem. It will be a win-win for everyone. And this is the beauty of it. And we will solve the issue of store of value, and also because the deep liquidity and a lot of the amount that is being burned, and of course the amount of staked tokens, and then also a medium of exchange, because we'll have retained a 1-to-1 liquidity to market cap ratio. Will be so liquid and stable that will be considered that. So Queen, Auntie Gile, very educative and eye-opener session. I have learned a lot. Thank you, everyone, and especially Steve. It's a pleasure having you here, Auntie. Thank you for blessing us with your presence today. It's a pleasure seeing you here in the community. And everyone who wants to be part of these communities, of course, here you have our handle on for Twitter, and you also have it for Survivor here as well, and for Killer Whale also as well. So my great brother Theo, epic session. Thank you so much, my great brother Steve, for taking the time to show us the truth as to what is truly going on in the space and hitting home that BRL is the solution. Absolutely, it's a pleasure. First of all, it's always a pleasure having you here, my great brother Theo. Thank you for your words. And it's important also to understand what's going on in the space. That's very important, because only then will we appreciate what we have. That's why we always have to zoom out, look at the big picture, so that when we zoom in, we can build bridges, parallels, and see that we really have solutions to these challenges that we have. And we do have them. And whoever comes with the solutions, and these are $1 trillion solutions. Why am I saying $1 trillion? Because that's our market cap. We're close to 2 trillion right now. We have almost a $2 trillion market cap. And if you can come with a solution right now, we have a $1 trillion market cap solution, and we have multiple of them. So liquidity, inflation, the efficient use of the volume, education, security. We develop our own cryptocurrencies, our own community tokens, and then the social network of it. And you all play a major role in that. You're all part of this large crypto community. Our vision is bigger and beyond just Bullrun. This is a home for the entire crypto community, that we can have a headquarters, we can have a home that we can come to and use and take advantage of the platform that we have. Imagine, we did the math today, community, and I'm looking forward to have this discussion with you on Saturday when we have our VC and our Telegram group. This time I would like to hear from you, community. So be prepared. And one of the community members said they were writing notes. So bring on the questions. Let's have a dialogue on Saturday. I'm really excited about that. Absolutely. Okay. And the last one here. Thank you very much for the educational session, Mr. Steve. We are getting equipped for the bull run. Absolutely. This is very, very important. This is the whole idea. I'm glad that it helped the community. Queen Shema here, you open our horizon, you light our way. Thanks for your efforts, Steve. Thank you too for being part of the community. With that said, really, these are the closing words here. And is that we need to understand what's happening in the space. We need to look at the big picture. And then we have to zoom in and see that we have the solutions for it. We have nothing to be humble about. We have a lot to be proud of. And we have a platform that delivers on these challenges and that was specifically developed to address these challenges. So community, with that said, it's been such a pleasure having this session with you. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to Saturday as well. Thank you everyone that showed up in such great numbers. I hope this session was really educational, informational, and especially inspirational to you all. With that said, I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, kings and queens. Let's build this crypto community. Let's grow, because now we have a home that we can just grow comfortably without having to worry about rug pulls, pit holes, and honeypots. We don't have to worry about illiquidity, inflation, and inefficient use of our volume. We don't have to worry about all that. We have the strongest fundamentals in the space. We did examples. We showed examples, not with low tokens, with high market cap tokens. So we are no longer competing with our peers, because now, like we said, institutions are now coming in and they are already taking advantage of the volume from day one. They're already in profits right now. So we need to find our own decentralized global city, global community. This was the topic of today. And we represent that global community, that global decentralized community. This is our home. We should present it like that. If you want education, if you want to socialize, if you want to be part of a vibrant community, if you want to be part of early tokens that are solid, that are safe, if you don't have to worry about rug pulls and honeypots, if you want to be part of a social community, of a social network, if you have talents, connections, be part of this. We are growing steadily on a daily basis, and we only have to grow once. And once we grow to the numbers of 1 million, we have the platform to accommodate that. We just looked at it. If we have volumes of 360 million, we will flip everything that is standing in our way. And everybody will want to trade on our platform because liquidity. People love to trade on liquid platforms. And this is why we have a head start, and we are stressing on liquidity. So again, please listen to the video. I gave you the link where that individual talks about King of Liquidity. And let me hear your feedback on Saturday. I wish everybody a wonderful rest of their week. Thank you once more for everything for your feedbacks today. And thank you for showing up. Let's spread the word, like our brother Glenn said here. And let's do our best. And let's do our part as well. Right here, always such an honor to be here. Thank you, Steve. Thank you too, Queen Dumi. Always a pleasure having you here as well. Queen Mahdi says, thank you for a very informational session. It's becoming more and more clear. This is great. This is exactly what we want. We want all of us to be educated and informed, and always be inspired and motivated to be participating and engaged. Queen Mother Lati, always a pleasure seeing you here, having you here. Thank you for gracing us with your presence today. Indeed, what an honor to be part of this community. Thank you, team, for your wonderful teachings. Thank you, too, for being part of this. Community, it's been a pleasure. Let's meet again, latest on Saturday. Looking forward to hear from you. I'll talk less on Saturday, so just I'll let you talk then, because I'm curious about your feedback of what you think of what's been said today. So looking forward to a dialogue with you all. Once again, thank you very much, and have a good rest of your week, and see you latest on Saturday.